Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're digging into a really powerful teaching from the revered monk Somdet Toh. And let me tell you, it asks a question that can get pretty uncomfortable, one that cuts right to the core of personal integrity.
So, let's just dive right into the central question of this whole teaching. Do you actually walk the talk? It sounds like such a simple question, doesn't it? But as you know, the answer can be incredibly complex. And that's the very issue Somdet Toh confronts head-on.
All right, so the counterfeit follower. You can tell by the title, Somdet Toh really doesn't pull any punches. He kicks things off by pointing out this huge gap he saw between what people say they believe and what they actually, do. He basically points out how easy it is to just claim a belief. It costs you nothing to say, oh yeah, I am a follower of this path. The real test, though, the part that actually matters, is in your actions. And here's his powerful and kind of shocking conclusion. He doesn't just say it's an inconsistency. No, he uses a much sharper word, counterfeiting. And that's not an accident. Think about it. It implies a deliberate forgery, like you're passing off a cheap copy as the real deal. So why? Why do people do this? Well, Somdet Toh says it isn't just some simple moral failing. He actually diagnoses it as a deep psychological condition. And it's the very same condition, by the way, that fuels so much of our own modern-day stress and anxiety. The diagnosis begins with this one concept, aham, which is the ego. You can think of it as that constant little voice in your head, the one that's all about I, me, mine. It's the part of you that needs to be right, that needs to look good, and has to defend its own importance at all costs. And that powerful ego, that atta, is what directly causes the next problem, upadana, or clinging. Because we have this super strong sense of I, we start grasping onto everything we think defines that I. Our possessions, our reputation, our ideas, even our own feelings. And this is the trap in action. Right here. When we get praised, our ego swells up with joy. When we get criticized, it shrinks down into misery. The second our happiness depends entirely on what other people think of us, we've totally lost our freedom. We're chained. So this leads us to Somdet Toh's pretty radical prescription. He says that to be a true follower, to be truly free, you have to be willing to release your grip on pretty much everything. Your ego, your attachment to your family's reputation, and even your social status and titles. But you might be thinking, let go of everything? Is that even possible? Well, to prove that this is more than just a nice-sounding theory, Somdet Toh brings up the ultimate case study. The Buddha's own life is held up as the perfect lesson. I mean, here was a guy, Prince Siddhartha, born with absolute power and wealth, but he voluntarily gave all of it up to become a simple beggar. And this wasn't about self-punishment. The whole point was to demonstrate that true freedom comes from letting go, not from gaining more stuff. And this whole journey is the ultimate demonstration of anatta, or no self, which is the direct antidote to the ego, to atta. It's this profound kind of mind-bending realization that the fixed, permanent I we work so hard to protect is actually an illusion. Okay, that's a powerful story, a deep philosophy. But what does it actually mean for us right here, right now? How do we take this idea and put it into practice in our own lives? Somdet Toh is absolutely clear on this point. Theory is not enough. You can read 1,000 books about swimming, but that won't teach you how to swim. True understanding only comes from the practice, from actually living these principles day in and day out. And for anyone who wants to go out and help change the world, he offers this fantastic checklist. First, do you really understand the society you want to help? Second, do you even have the skills to help? But then he saves the most important question for last. Have you done the work to refine yourself first? And this right here is the fundamental rule. You have to conquer yourself before you can even hope to help the world. I mean, trying to bring peace to other people when your own mind is just a storm of ego and chaos, you're not going to spread peace. You're just going to spread the storm. His recommended tool for this inner work is the Four Noble Truths.
And you can think of it like a doctor's 4-step plan. Number 1, the diagnosis. Acknowledge that life has stress. Number 2, the cause. Understand it comes from your own clinging. 3, the prognosis. Realize there's a cure, that it can end. And 4, the prescription. Follow the path to freedom. And it starts right inside your own mind.
So ultimately, the entire path boils down to this one really radical idea. True freedom isn't found by adding more things to your identity, more status, more knowledge, more stuff. It's actually a path of subtraction, of dismantling the ego, until you finally see there was no fixed self there to defend in the first place. So we'll end with a question for you to take with you. Of all the things that you feel make up your identity, your job, your beliefs, your history, your relationships, what part of that you are you holding on to the tightest? And what do you think would happen if you just dared to loosen your grip?